Oh boy, have things changed here in Boise, Idaho in 2024. In this video, we are going to talk about all the pros and cons of living in Boise, Idaho in 2024. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to reveal something that most people aren't even talking about here in Boise, Idaho in 2024. So let's dive into it. Right off the bat, the number one negative or the con about moving to Boise, Idaho is pay. You are going to take a pay cut when moving to the Boise, Idaho, unless you can keep your job and work remotely. But a lot of people that we talk to who are teachers, firefighters, police, anyone really who's coming here for a job transfer in the job market here, they are shocked to learn what pay cut they're going to take. That's honestly the number one downside of moving to the Boise, Idaho area is just your pay is going to get cut. It's going to get slashed. So a lot of people who are doing that, they're coming to Idaho and working out their situation. We have a lot of nurses who've been able to kind of work their schedules to go back and forth, make that commute. That's a slog. Same with firefighters and police. They're doing that because they have their pensions tied up, they have their seniority, and they don't want to start over. But for some, man, just getting here, it's worth it to just take the cut and build your life all over again. And thankfully, a lot of people are coming here, even though they are taking that pay cut to move to Boise, they're able to sell their house, make a ton of money off that, and come here and really start over and have a nice nest egg. So the biggest downfall, honestly, complete truth about moving to this area is you're gonna take a pay cut. So yeah, you're gonna take that pay cut to move to Boise, Idaho, but man, the pro about moving to Boise, Idaho is the cost of living is a lot less than what you're probably used to paying in another state. And we have people coming from all over the country, Juneau, Alaska, back east, the Midwest, Arizona. Everyone's coming here and they're all saying the same thing. Oh my gosh, it is less expensive to live here in Boise, Idaho than it was at my other state, working my other job and making more money, but it all evened out because yeah, you're making more money there, but your expenses are just as high. And so when you come to Idaho, you do have that pay cut, but the cost of living, the groceries, the taxes, the car registration, everything kind of gets patted down. And so you realize, wow, it really is cheaper to move to Boise, Idaho and actually live because your gas for the vehicle, you're not driving as much, you're not burning as much fuel. So the $2.99, the $2.89 to fill up the tank at the time of recording this video goes a lot further here, and your dollar just stretches a lot further, and the groceries, all that stuff, it really makes a big difference when you come here, especially if you're coming with a family or you're on that fixed income. You want that cost of living low so that you can stretch your dollar and live the life that you want here in Idaho. Well, with the cost of living being so great here in Idaho, the secret's out. More people are coming to Idaho. So that is definitely a drag when you're looking to relocate here to the Boise, Idaho. It's just more crowded. The infrastructure is not built for massive amounts of people who've flooded in the past 2 or 3 years. But the negative side about that is the traffic. The traffic congestion is really starting to build up. People say, oh, Greg, I saw in the video that you mentioned the traffic and all that stuff, but man, what were we talking about? This is nothing. But trust me, once you get here and you start living and doing your daily routine, you'll start to notice the traffic that I'm talking about, especially if you're in Nampa and you're going at traffic time, right? The morning or evening, afternoon when school's out. Garrity Road backs up. Karcher up in Nampa, that road is a nightmare, and why they're putting it in and out there, I don't know, but there's a lot of just horrible traffic spots throughout the valley. Here in Ada County, if you're going down Eagle Road, say you are just in Meridian and you're like, you know what, I live in Star, live in Eagle, so I'm gonna head home. You're gonna hit traffic because everyone's gonna try and skirt the major streets. They're gonna try and skirt Eagle Road, they're gonna try and skirt State Street. So they might hit Chinden, they might hit Linder. The streets that go east and west do back up, and then you have the school buses on top of that during the school time. So it really is kind of bottlenecking and making it a little bit more difficult to get around and navigate, and so you do have that traffic, you do have that congestion, you just don't have that infrastructure that's built out yet. They're working hard to do that, but it's just going to take some time and for all that to catch up. So right now, with more people coming, you really start to feel it when you go to restaurants, when you go out and you're out driving around. Maybe you might see more people down at the Boise River or on the Greenbelt than maybe what you're used to. So that traffic flow really starts to really pick up and you start to feel that. But when you come to visit, you're like, man, this is a breeze. We can get around in 20 minutes everywhere. That's true. But just give it some time when you're here and working. I mean, we have a client right now who one of the things that surprised them the most, and they're leaving Idaho, is the traffic. That's one thing that they said, it was more traffic than they thought it would be. So just be aware of that when you come here. That is a downside of making the move here to an area that's just not built out for a lot of people. But man, who doesn't want to live in an area like this? Yes, the traffic is bad, you know, or it's getting worse, and you know, the cost of living is so good. But man, it's so family oriented here in the Boise, Idaho area. A lot of people say that just right off the bat. When they come here, they just feel differently. They feel safe. They feel like this is a great place to raise their family or their kids. You know, just being able to see these schools, these elementary schools that are being built, that are brand new, that are positioned right in neighborhoods where, you know, as a mom or a dad or a grandparent, you can just walk your kid to school, pick them up, and you're not driving, sitting in, you know, big lines to drop off, stuff like that. You have great values here in Idaho, which are family oriented. So when you come here, you start to feel that. You start to get a sense of that. You start to see more families out together, doing things together, playing together. You start to really see parents involved with their kids' lives out in the park, throwing bombs down in the field, you know, just making sure that their kids are having a blast. You really enjoy being here in Idaho with your family. And that's why we see so many people who come to Idaho. They are the trailblazers, and then pretty soon the parents are following, the siblings start to follow. It's just this, I don't know, man, you just catch this this desire to be here in Idaho and just share this with your family. And I think that's what it's so unique about living here. I mean, it's not, I'm not saying like this is magical, but it's pretty magical when you come here and you start living it and you start having so much to do, and you just get to see your kids out playing in the river while you, mom and dad, can put your lawn chair in the river and just hang out while the kids are skipping rocks, just like you and I used to do when we were kids. You get to experience that and watch your kids experience that childhood that you grew up on that has vanished before our eyes as we've raised our kids lately. So it's a big draw for a lot of people coming here. It's a big draw for a lot of grandparents moving here. It's a big draw for people who really have family values and want to be part of something and still believe in that family unit. With so many families moving here to Boise, Idaho, there is just so much you can do out your front door. I talked about, you know, throwing the football in the park, but let's go beyond that. Let's take your family on a Saturday. Let's just plan your day right now. Let's say you wake up, you go have breakfast, or you make breakfast at home, you pack up the kids, and it's the winter time. Oh my gosh, it's February, what are we gonna do? No problem. You're gonna head to Eagle Island State Park, and you're gonna take them tubing for an hour and a half, when you just be able to just go as a family. You don't have to haul the tube up or walk up the hill. You just ride the conveyor belt up. Billy and, I don't know, Susie get in the tube with you, and down you go for an hour and a half, and you have hot cocoa there. And then you come home, you relax a little bit, kind of unwind, and then you go back out maybe for a walk along the greenbelt. Yeah, it's cold, but it's sunny out and there's things to do, or you just walk around your neighborhood. You know, all season you have something to do. The springtime is one of the best times to be in the foothills here in Boise. The foothills are green, there's wildflowers everywhere, the trails are thawing out, and so you get more active out there. The mountain biking is phenomenal here in Boise. There's a really great mountain bike challenge. It's a good way to learn the trails here. Is you ride X amount of trails in a certain amount of time, but it's all on the app. Maybe I'll just reach out and I'll send you the information on that. But the mountain biking, if you want to go ATVing, if you want to go camping, if you want to ride side-by-sides, just pick a, you know, whatever way you want to go and just go, and you're going to hit the trails. You could go out south, you could go up north, you could go out east, and really kind of enjoy living. Go down to the sand dunes one day. You could wake up and say, you know what, let's go snowboard down a sand dune. Okay, drive an hour and a half and you're there. And it's just the things that you have to do here in Boise, including the river, the floating the river, the kayaking, the white water park if you want to do that, the paddle boarding, everything, going out and do kiting down at Lucky Peak if you just want to go boating. There is just so much activity that's outside here in Idaho that really, if you come to Idaho, man, I'm forgetting the hunting. Hunting's huge here in October. The state pretty much shuts down for hunting season. So there's just a lot you get to do when you come to Idaho, and that's what drives a lot of families here is because it's an opportunity to reconnect with your family and just, get out and enjoy the outdoors. What we love here as our family is we love the water. So we're big water people. So we're always by a river or by a lake throughout the summer as often as we can get there. The whitewater rafting is fantastic. If you go up to Riggins, Idaho, you can get some amazing white water. But if you don't want to go all the way up to Riggins and have this amazing experience, you can have an amazing experience in Boise, Idaho, which is just right up the road from where I'm recording this video right now. So you have so much to do, really, on all different levels. So maybe you don't have a family. Maybe you're just, you're single. Maybe you want to play tennis every day. Go for it. We have a tennis club here. Maybe you just like to walk and go on walks. We have beautiful neighborhoods for that. If you are maybe just you just want to ride bikes, ride your e-bikes, my gosh, you can literally do just about anything outside, and there's great weather most of the time year round for you to be able to get out and do that. You just have to force yourself to do it at the beginning, because once you get here, everything's gonna be brand new and it's gonna be overwhelming, but you just start and you start doing little things here and there, and you just realize, oh my gosh, I am in nature's playground. It's unbelievable. So what if you are the first family member to come to Boise, Idaho? One of the drawbacks that you're gonna realize when you get here is it could be a challenge to get to and from in and out of Boise. We don't have a lot of direct flights anywhere. A lot of it's via connecting flights. Now we have a lot of California covered direct because that's geographically that's close. But if you have family in Texas, it's going to be hard to get a direct flight. You're going to have to connect somewhere. If you want to go anywhere for vacation, if you want to go to Hawaii, you're going to have to connect through Portland or LA or Seattle. If you want, go back east, kind of the same thing. So if you have family coming out here and they're back east, or it might just be a challenge for them to work through connecting flights to get to Boise. Now, a lot of people who move here have moved here from California. They love it because they can get right to California. They're an hour and a half flight away from being back home. But it is a downside when it comes to travel, especially, I have a great client, Paul, if you're watching this, he travels a lot for work and all over. And I was talking to Paul a little while ago. I said, man, how is it? He's like, you know what? I do miss having those direct flights. So I know that's a challenge for the guys and gals who are out on the road a lot, traveling for business and doing sales or whatever. It does take a toll on you and having to get all that flight connections, all the airports, all that stuff. So that is a downside of moving here. Interesting fact about the Boise airport: it's an international airport. I heard that the reason why it's an international airport, it's not because we have like flights coming in from Sydney or anywhere like that. It has something to do with it's an international airfield, landing airfield, approved airfield for a customs and border office. I don't know. It has nothing to do with flights, international flights. It's something else. So if you find out, let me know why it's an international airport. But it is kind of interesting that the Boise airport is an international airport. And speaking of transportation, here in Boise, Idaho in 2024, you'd think they'd have it by now, but they don't. You have limited public transportation here in Idaho. Yes, you've got the Uber, the Lyft, all that stuff, but I'm talking about public transportation. And I think that's why we see so much congestion on the roads, because everyone has to drive into downtown, or everyone has to drive to and from. We don't have buses that take you from Eagle into Boise, or Star into Boise, or Boise into Nampa. So if you're working in those areas, you're definitely making that commute, or you're just carpooling with a coworker. So that's one of the downsides in living in Boise, Idaho in 2024, is there's just no real good public transportation. All right, so Ken behind the camera is like, Greg, stop being a Debbie Downer. Let's tell the audience some good. Let's talk food. So let's talk food about that here in Boise, Idaho in 2024. My gosh, we just heard that In-N-Out opened up. We've never been. We don't know what it's like. Actually, we've been there. We were there opening day. We have some clips that we'll put up from this right now. But the food scene here in Boise, it's getting better. I'd say it's improving. We had a lot of people come in here from California, and all they did was just complain about the food, the restaurants. It was just like, you have no good food here. So now everyone's coming here, and open up new places. We have Dave's Hot Chicken. We have Raising Cane's that is opening or open.
I've heard it's coming.
Okay.
Guthrie's has opened though.
Guthrie's has opened. Wiener Schnitzels is being built, almost done. To be honest, I've never been to a Wiener Schnitzels.
What?
Inconceivable. I have no idea. All I know is a hot dog place. We have just a lot of great breakfast spots. We have Joe Mama's, we have Biscuits and Hogs. We have so many great little restaurants that you can go to while you're here visiting or moving here. Really fun places too to take your family and friends, or just to go out for a brunch or any special occasion. Fine dining as well. You have a major restaurant opening up over the river or over the lake in Eagle called Coa del Mar, which is
It's gonna be a
barbacoa.
10,000 square foot waterfront restaurant.
It's going to be fantastic. So you have it. You have pizza, you have fine dining, you have high end, you have reservation only, you have those spots that are hard to get into that you need, so you have all that. And the cuisine, it's from American food to Indian food to Thai food to Japanese food to Korean. I mean, we have it all here, to Basque food. We even have a great Russian restaurant here in off State Street down in Garden City, Boise area. So there's a lot of good places, a lot of fun places to try. And that's one thing that people love about coming here is they say, okay, go Idaho, give us some good restaurant spots to choose from and to kind of pick. And we say, okay, great. You know what are you looking for? What are you in the mood for? And we're happy to share that information with you. So don't hesitate to reach out to us if you just want to know a good place to eat. We'll most likely point you into several different places for that. Okay, and we still have slated for 2024 3 more In-N-Outs coming here. What do you think? It's controversial. We have In-N-Out enthusiasts here in the Go Idaho team, and we have In-N-Out enthusiasts who are not enthusiasts about In-N-Out.
Haters.
Don't let the haters stop you from doing your thing.
And they just hate it. So where are you? Where do you land on In-N-Out? We have the Meridian location. We have another Meridian location. We have a Nampa location, and they just demolished the building in Boise that is going to be the new home of the In-N-Out in the Boise area. So leave your comments below. Do you like In-N-Out or not? With all these fun places to go out to eat, there's a lot of entertainment and things to do here in Boise. We have, just right off the top, we have the Ford Idaho Center, which hosts all the major artists. Like, since Boise has blown up, we have had bigger and bigger and bigger artists come to do some amazing concert and performances. We have Monster Jam that comes here. We have motocross. We have rodeos. The PBR comes and does a fantastic rodeo here. There's so much at that Ford Idaho Center. It's really a huge draw to kind of live close to that because something is going on just about every weekend. You also have things to do as a family. You have this brand new expansive water park that they just added onto, the Roaring Springs. It is now like the largest water park in the Pacific Northwest. It's massive. So that's fun to do. You have K1 Indoor Speed Kart. Now that's a franchise that's around. So if you have a K1 and you're into go-karts, that's great because you can go-kart here and keep your speed and your time and all that stuff connected. So that just opened up. We have indoor pickleball courts coming here. Gosh, you have so much going on. Of course, you have Boise State basketball that's doing phenomenal. The football team, depends on what season's going on. But you have so much to do with that. You have the movie theaters that are fantastic. You have the music festival here in downtown Boise called Tree Fort, which has really kind of taken on this whole thing and just kind of grown bigger and bigger and bigger. It's great. It's a lot of fun. A lot of local bands and small time bands that come and play. Just all downtown. The downtown kind of shuts down for a while for this music festival. It's incredible, and there's so much energy that happens right down there in downtown Boise. And if you're into like the art scene, we have the Boise Philharmonic. We have ballet, we have dance, we have the Boise Arts Museum, we have Idaho Shakespeare, we have plays that go on and concerts that go on in the summer at the Idaho Botanical Gardens, which is a beautiful environment to sit and have an evening festival play or to listen to some music in these gardens. Is absolutely beautiful. So highly recommend that if you're here in the summertime. So there's a big art scene here in Boise, Idaho. So it's really this well-rounded, you got the hunters, but you also have those who want to just go crazy at the water park to, man, we have everything. So what don't we have What don't we have? Leave it down below. So here's something that you should know about moving to Boise, Idaho in 2024. And this could either be a pro or a con. And it's our weather. We have 4 seasons. In the wintertime, it does get cold. There's a few weeks out of the year that it is cold. And it's a dry cold. So for a lot of people coming here, you get extra lotion for your skin because it dries really, really fast. We're in a high desert. So you do have that. You do get snow. It does stay on the ground. It doesn't just hit and melt away. It does stay because if it snows or in that really cold, streak that we have, it will stay around for a while. We had a big snowstorm that happened this year, but now you wouldn't even know that we had a snowstorm. It's completely dry and melted away. The foothills look beautiful with the snow on those foothills. So you do have that winter that, so if you like that, then you're gonna love it. If you're not, but it's not too bad. You have a beautiful spring. Spring is just amazing here. Summer gets hot. It gets hot in August. There's a few weeks out of the year that it's hot, but it's really not like a muggy hot. It's very dry. So we're in the high desert, like I mentioned before, so you have that dry heat. And so it does get hot, but our average temperature in the summer is in the 90s, low 90s, low to mid 90s, which is very easy to manage. What I love about the summers here in Boise is if you live here, you know what I'm talking about. It stays light so late, like 10 o'clock, it's still light out. It's crazy, and it's so perfect because you want the summers, those long summer nights. So you do have that. You have the fall, which is beautiful, but you do have all 4 seasons. So if you just are like, I love the heat, Boise is not the spot for you. If you're just like, I love freezing cold, Boise is not the spot for you. You're going to get all 4 seasons, and the temperatures are always going to vary depending on the time of year. Hey, don't forget, at the end of this video, I'm going to reveal something big that's happening here in Boise that no one is talking about. Let's get back to a con about Boise, Idaho. I'm moving to Boise, Idaho in 2024. Boise proper is left-leaning. We have a Democratic mayor who is pushing left-leaning ideas. So for you watching this, you might say, I'm fine with that. I like it. No worries. Well, then great. You're going to love it. If you're watching this, you're like, Greg, why'd you have to tell me that? No, but don't worry. You're in good company because a lot of people who are coming here, they know that. But man, they sure take their voting right to the poll because we've seen an uptick of more red voters coming here than we've had and voting than we had before. And it's just kind of like the rule of thumb everywhere. You have to be, if you don't want the change, or if you do want the change, you have to get in at your local level. That's where it all starts. And right here in Boise, it's a really good opportunity for someone who wants to come in and make a positive impact. But just know that Boise proper is left-leaning. The university's down there, and our mayor is a Democrat. However, every other city in Idaho is the opposite of how Boise proper is. So it's very red outside of Boise proper. So you're going to be comfortable, you're going to be in good company, and that kind of like takes me into another pro about living in Idaho is it's a Second Amendment city. I mean, you can open carry, you can conceal carry. We have some cities that are Second Amendment sanctuary cities. Kuna, Star is one. So as the winds of change go here in our country, guns is a big thing for a lot of people. So moving to an area that is pro Second Amendment is really a huge pro for a lot of people when they come here to Boise, Idaho. That's one reason why I've helped people move here was because they're like, Greg, I want my firearm. I want to be able to carry it. I don't want anyone messing with me. I don't want my guns taken away from me. All right, right before I get to the big reveal, I just got one more thing I want to talk about that you should know about moving to Boise, Idaho. And this could be on your pros list or cons list. And that is Idaho's super friendly and kind of a tight-knit community, meaning if you are someone who is more reserved and you don't like to just like chat it up with strangers, it might be hard to get used to going to the grocery store when all you want to do is get your items and check out, but the cashier wants to like learn about you and just say, hey, how's your day going? Like they kind of want to talk to you, or maybe they see your dog in your purse or whatever and they want to talk to you about your dog. So that I know for people, it's kind of a culture shock moving here because people are pretty open. They say hi, they wave. And so That can rub people weird, especially if you're not used to like having that. You're used to just like getting in and getting out and doing your thing. The pace is a little bit slower than probably what you're used to coming from a bigger city. You know, it's just a little bit slower pace here. And that's just because people are taking their time and, you know, enjoying the day living in Idaho. So whether that's a pro or con for you, that's something you'll have to just kind of decide. All right, so now I'm going to reveal the thing that no one is talking about here in Boise, Idaho for 2024, and that is an amazing job market. Like, we're not talking just a good job market, it's amazing. We are ranked number 7th in the country for small businesses starting up. It is phenomenal. People are coming here with great ideas and great businesses, you know, and getting things rolling. We have so much tech here. It's really easy for you to start a job here. We don't have a lot of regulation. There's a lot of incentives for you to start your business here in Idaho that the state is offering because they see all the growth and potential that Idaho has, and they want to pour it back into the community to make sure that we are utilizing those funds and developing businesses and jobs, because that is what makes an economy go, is jobs and people creating jobs. So Idaho, if you are an entrepreneur and you're like, man, where should I open up or where should I start this business? Come to Idaho, start your job here in Idaho or start your business here in Idaho. You will get a ton of support from the local community, and you will really start to see your business grow and excel here in Idaho. So that is a huge thing that no one is talking about that you should be just all over if you're an entrepreneur or you have, you know, an ear of someone that you could pull and say, hey, Bill, like, let's go do this over here. Let's get out of the state and let's open up our shop here in Idaho. You will love it. Speaking of things booming, check out this booming city of Eagle, Idaho, and all access video tour right here.